came down to work. So they are your brothers and sisters. I just want to take this opportunity to say a very big welcome to you. You've come home. In fact, this is the home of the gospel. And this is where your forebears sacrificed so much with their lives, with their blood and everything to ensure that we have the gospel planted. And it was not only the gospel, they also built a society, a special society with special culture in mind. And that has been in existence since time immemorial. And that is what we hold on to as our values. So I want to believe that you've come home, you're going to experience some of these things very much. And we trust that at the end of it all, you indeed love to be back home. And you always be coming home to see how things are being done here. So on behalf of the Presbyterian Church, the Akropong district, and Christ Church in particular, I welcome you to Akropong. Amen.
This is the Presbyterian Church of Ghana. And now the church is having about 2 million membership now. And this milestone was not achieved on a silver platter. It was sacrifice of some people who laid down their lives and sacrificed for the church to have reached this far. The sacrifices of the pastoral missionaries, the sacrifices of the Danish missionaries, the sacrifices of the chiefs and the traditional peoples of this town collectively has brought this church to this state. Now the church is grown all over Ghana and beyond Ghana, even in America and Europe and other African countries. My forefather said, my parents migrated to the Gold Coast not from any outward advantage which they hoped for, but to show the true love of God and also to extend that love to their fellow black man. So they came here to sacrifice their lives, and now the nation as a whole and the church has grown and benefited from these sacrifices that our forefathers made. After the First World War, there was a quest to spread the gospel all over the world. And for this reason, a group of 7 people put themselves together in Basel and decided to form the Basel Missionary Society. Their aim was to sponsor missionaries to go worldwide to spread the gospel. And Ghana was one of the chosen places that we decided to come. During that time, Ghana was ruled by the then Danish government. So the Danish government also formed another society to collaborate with the Danish, the Basel missionaries, called the Danish Missionary Society. So together they formed this organization and started sending people to Africa to evangelize. The initial attempts were white, they were 4 in number, and they came, and in no time they all passed away because of the climatic conditions. The first batch came in 1828. They arrived here in Ghana 18th December 1828. So not too soon they came, all of them died. Then unknown to the mission house in Switzerland, they sent another batch of 3 white missionaries with a doctor to come also to help their work here. Unknown to them that the first 4 had died because of lack of communication at that time. So they sent additional 3 to come to help with a doctor. But unfortunately, the doctor was first to die in 3 weeks. In about a month, the 2 other one also died, leaving only Reese to do the work of the gospel. Reese saw the climatic condition at the coast, so decided to relocate to Interland, that is Akropong. So Reese came to Akropong and settled down. He was met by the then chief Nana Adodankwa and welcomed him to stay in Akropong. The mission in abroad sent additional 3 people to come and help Reese to work here. The same story went on, they all also died. left one lady who later became the wife of Reese. So Reese tried for about 10 years. For about 10 years, they've sent 10 missionaries and 8 had died, and there was no one soul, no converts for them. So the Basel missionary was dismayed, and they felt that the journey and the enterprise that they wanted to do in Ghana, the then Gold Coast, has been not been fruitful. So they decided to pack and go. They recalled Reese back to Basel. Their comment was, "We are bowed down at hearing the sad news. We are dismayed at the utter failure of our plans. We do not understand the thoughts of the Lord, and that's deeply afflicting our work." That was a frustrating statement they made, that all the effort they made, they couldn't have any soul, but rather they lost a lot of souls. So Reese went back to the chief to tell him goodbye and to thank him for accommodating him here, but unfortunately he couldn't win any soul, so he's about to go back. Then the chief was also very worried about all the effort that he made that has been fruitless. So he suggested, perhaps, if you can bring people whose color is like our people, because we believe that the white man book was made for the white man. He meant the God that you sell maybe for the white man. But we blacks, we believe in juju. So if we could bring people whose color is like us, maybe my people will listen and know that the God that you are talking about is not only for white man, but every nation and black people as well worship that God. And that was the key to the success of the whole missionary story. Because they tried, they failed. But then the traditional chief gave that idea to Reese. So when Reese went back to Europe, he told his masters, this is a suggestion of the traditional chief, that if we could bring people like us, black color, maybe the people would listen. So they bought into the idea. They went to Jamaica and recruited 24 family members and about 3 singles to come to Gold Coast. Hallelujah. I'm not preaching. So they went there and recruited people to come to Africa and Ghana to start a model church. Theirs was to start an exemplary church for the blacks here and for the community of Akropong to know that there is a Christian community that belongs also to the God that they're talking about. They were to lead an exemplary life for the people to see how Christians also live so that they will copy them. So when they came, those that came were Mr. and Mrs. John Hall with their son Andrew Hall, Mr. and Mrs. John Rochester with 2 children named Nana and John, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph Miller with 3 children, Rosina, Robert, and Catherine. Then you have James Gabriel Mullins with a child called Elizabeth. Then there was John Edward Walker, then James Green, then Jonas Hashford, David Robertson, and Alexander Worthy Clark. These were the family that came from Jamaica and started a model life in Akropong. And these were the very people that the church began with. So at that point in time, they were about 35 with their masters. This family and their white leaders made up about 35 people, started this church that now is 2 million people, and it's all over the world. So they selflessly committed themselves, and they taught the people, and they learned how to translate the gospel also to the rest of them. So at a point in time, they that became the leaders of the gospel now. They rather start teaching the traditional people because they could relate to them because of their color. So that's how the gospel became successful in Akropong, and that's how the gospel also has spread to the rest of Ghana. And it was because of them that schools started, because before then, they couldn't have started anything. When they came, they started schools. So they believe that by education, the people can read and write. So is this our forefathers from Jamaica who they use their children that they used to start also the model school. And from the model schools they also imparted to the people here agriculture. They brought along some fruits like cocoyam, mangoes that they brought to Africa, which were never here before. So cocoa too, even that is now the major crop for Ghana, foreign exchange, they brought them. They started the pilot project here. So in the short, they really brought a lot of things to Ghana that now today we can boast of. Through them, Ghana's socio-economic policies and everything was laid because the foundation was laid by them. Their self-sacrifices and all that they did has now benefited the country at large. And these are some of the products that you saw. Some of them has even become ambassadors to the nation. And we are all still in Ghana. And we are happy to see you here too. So this is the foundation that your fathers and your forebears laid down. And we are happy to see you have come to experience. Their names are all on the wall. Where they live is also there. We may pass by and just have a look at what happened the years back. I thank you all. If there's any question or two, then probably I need to answer as we are here. If there's any question, one or two because of time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Has anybody been to Jamaica?
None of us have been to there. It's our dream. It's one of our dreams to go to Jamaica, to see where they also lived, the church they. Any other? We hardly, though seldom people come from there. You have seen the Mullins come, but we don't have the halls per se. But other families we have had contacts with their people over there.
Is there any connection with churches in Jamaica? Or any church?
Thank you very much. We really were inspired by that historical overview. So, do you have any connection with any church in Jamaica at the moment?
No.
The Presbyterian of Ghana has connection to churches in Jamaica, but not Akropong.
Thank you very much. If you would allow me to just bring warmest greetings from Kingston, Jamaica, on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, to say what a pleasure it is to be here with you, to have been so warmly welcomed, and to sit here in a church which you would know is built exactly like the church in Jamaica. So when I walked in the town, it could be in any capital town in Jamaica. The coolness of the air, the greenness of your landscaping, and the layout. You feel the presence of God in the same way you feel Him in Jamaica. So I want to thank you all for your presence, and thank you, Sir Sam, for your historical education. It has been so instructive for all of us. And we're here consulting with each other. Is he speaking about cocoyam, or is he speaking about cocoa? Because we drink cocoa, we eat cocoa, and we have cocoa food in Jamaica. So if we had a question, we would ask you. Of course, Ghana is very well known for cocoa, its exports. Jamaica also exports high quality cocoa, but in much smaller quantities. You were speaking about cocoa, the food, like yam. That was what was brought here. If you could speak just a little more about the culture, any elements of Jamaican culture that are here, we would be so interested to know. But if there is nothing further, we just wish to thank you from the bottom of our hearts and to just extend one love from Kingston, Jamaica, here to Akuffo. Thank you.
There's not much.
I know, for instance, John Hall, who happened to be the presbyter of the delegation from Jamaica, came from Arwen Hill Church at Montego Bay. Is it really so? Thank you.
Nice to meet you. This is the first tertiary institution. Really? Well, that should be the first thing that you tell me.
Second to Furabe.
Really?
Furabe, that's yes.
Honor to be here. Mother of all, the mother of our students. Oh, that's
Yeah.
Lives on the other house. We should have walked from that side so that you can see.
all of it.
So this is all the enclave from all down the street. Where
What's part of And it's Hanover Street.
Hanover Street. That's what's called Hanover Street.
Very interesting. As you know, we have Hanover in Western Jamaica.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
And
we are-
Hanover Street in Kingston.
Of course. You are welcome. This is
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this with us. Thank you for sharing this with us. Thank you.
Every blessing.
Bye, sir. Okay. Good to see you. Again.
one of them molling. Stay living as a
How are you? Fine. Good.
We are all staying here. We still have the family.
Very good. Yes, because I know Molly is still in Jamaica.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. This is their folk, the generational house. These are some of the descendants.
So we have Reverend Peter Mullins of blessed memory who just passed, and his yes.
So when are you going back?
We have a lot to see.
So the current president's father.
It gives me great honor to be here today to recognize the role that the very Reverend Peter Hall would have played as the first moderator of the Presbyterian Church of the Gold Coast represents a reconnection of the heart of Jamaica with the heart of Ghana, and indeed the heart of Akuffo and of Akropong. So it gives me great honor and great privilege to lay this wreath in memory of the life of the very Reverend Peter Hall, his father John Hall, and indeed the family of missionaries who brought the Word of God here, who brought the Presbyterian Church here, and who indeed helped in the development of the society and the growing of such a wonderful, wonderful community. So we thank you on behalf of the government and people of Jamaica for sharing this moment with us, for sharing this space with us, and we wish you God's continued blessing on this wonderful town of Akuffo. And thank you.
Ghana this man, when I'm also moving them to Chairman or you know, and then Kofiano the part, you know what the baby are women see, but if any part when I can't also no Bruniaba, then he and the time. So dear group, pay the Capone and it's one photo, Cabby, by yet, near answers away, Robert Senny, so the baby Anton Sanchez was over it. So the party Napa Pabo. Welcome during the narration, the chapter, we were told, they mentioned about and coincidentally, the current parliament chief also is from the class. So we just want you to go through one of the things. Yes. So Reverend Whitman or something. Whitman, yes, he baptized you. And that person Akuffo was a parliament chief in this area he was born in 1863 and he was able to give birth to 127 children with 62 recognized wives. So these are all the names. Are you sure? So we are moving here. So these are all the children of 127 children. Yeah, he was active. 62 recognized and alive. That's all the extra compromise. So that is another perspective. What he was drinking. What was drinking. So that is another perspective. A strong man. A strong man. Yeah.